Picture Book Writers. I'm Pam Calvert, and I'm so excited to be here and welcome you to Picture Book University. Today's topic is how can you tell if you are a really bad picture book writer? Now, I'm going to assume that none of you are if you're watching me, but hey, just in case you're doing some of these things and this is pertaining to you, then you need to get educated about it. So, number one, a bad picture book writer can't take constructive criticism. That's right. So, whenever they get any feedback, they get defensive, and I even kind of talked about that in Dine and Wine last Friday where I got defensive. That's bad writer. You can't get defensive. In this business, you are not going to write the most perfect picture book right out the gate. You just won't. I don't write the perfect picture book right out the gate. I have a critique group. I have people that look at it before I send it to my editor. I will not just let it fly all by itself. I have to have eyes on that. Now, I might not agree with some of the things that my critique partners say, but I do listen to their feedback and I can see that I have faults in my writing and I will have to make changes. But bad picture book writers don't want to hear that they're doing anything wrong. Number two, and this goes right along with they can't take constructive criticism, is a bad picture book writer cannot understand the difference between a bad rejection and a good rejection. There is a difference. A good rejection is when you get paragraphs and paragraphs of good, solid feedback, or even 2 sentences of feedback that it pertains to your story. It's not just a flowery form that you can tell is not for your picture book. It is some constructive feedback, meaning that the editor, the agent, actually took a look at your book and evaluated it, and they told you there's these reasons why it didn't work for them. That is a great rejection. I had a friend, and she didn't last long in this business because her first picture book was not good. It was written in rhyme, and it shouldn't have been because it was a story, and it was in a story arc. And she sent it to this editor, and she gave her like almost a page full of feedback of what she could do to make it better, but it wasn't working for her. Well, she up and quit. She couldn't handle the criticism. She didn't realize that was a great rejection, something to celebrate. A bad rejection is just a form rejection. But anything else is good. Even if what they say is bad, it's good. All right, a bad picture book writer thinks that they have to illustrate all of their book, and they're not illustrators. Listen, I made that mistake, okay? So I'm not getting on to you unfairly. I know this happens to a lot of newbies. And I had this book. It was kind of a science book, and I had all these little mini, line drawing illustrations. It was so bad. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yes, I was a bad picture book writer. Definitely was a bad picture book writer. Everybody's a bad picture book writer when they first start out. Anyway, I hope you are not doing your own illustrations unless you have a degree in illustration or an art degree, or you are an artist who's taken tons and tons of classes and you've honed your work just as much as you did when you're honing your craft of writing. All right, a bad picture book writer goes out and buys a copyright of their words because they are so scared that somebody is going to steal their book. That's not going to happen. You already have the copyright when you write it. It's yours already. Now, people can steal your ideas because ideas are free and you cannot copyright your ideas. So when you have a book about a mermaid magician and somebody else writes about a mermaid magician. Even let's just say they're in your critique group and then they wander off and 10 years later you don't know them anymore and they've got a mermaid magician. You have nothing to say because ideas are free. If they copied all of your words and the plot was exactly the same, then you have a copyright infringement and it's automatically yours, so you don't need to buy your own copyright. A bad picture book writer starts their book off by either telling about what's about to happen or they're in the inner thoughts of the character. So there's absolutely no action taking place and we are only in the inner thoughts of the character. That is not a picture book. That is a chapter book. That's how chapter books start. In fact, I believe that chapter books should start off with action too. But some novels do start off with inner thoughts and they do them very well, but that we don't have that in picture books. Picture books are fast. They don't have time for a setup that takes over a page long for inner thoughts. So if you're having inner thoughts with your picture book, there's something wrong with it. All right, the next thing a bad picture book writer does is they enlist their family members to critique their work. They think, well, I read this, like they could be a teacher or something, and they read it to the class, and they all loved it, so it must be good, right? No. Wrong, right? No. You must get critiqued by others in the business, right? Your critique group needs to be at least as good as you are, or you're not doing yourself any favors. I could give my books to my kids and they will love it because mom wrote it. And it just doesn't work like that. You have to get other professionals to look at your work. And now it comes to the last bad picture book quality, and that's if you want to give a child your moral. So you're trying to teach kids something and you're coming at them like you're talking down to children instead of showing them a theme. But you have some preachy, didactic idea that you're going to offer your insightful parental guidance. We don't do that in picture books. We empower children. We do not talk down to them, and we do not give a big, over-encompassing moral. You will have a theme. And that's something we'll talk about later is themes and how to choose your theme. But you can't just sit there and have a parent just tell little Johnny, little Susie what they need to think and what they need to do. All right, well, that's it for these little, if you're a bad picture writer tips. And I bet if you've gotten all the way to the end, I bet you are not a bad picture book writer. Yay! Let's celebrate that. Now for the homework section. Woo! Okay, so go back to your rejections. If you don't have rejections, then just file this away for when you do get rejections. And I'm just going to say you're going to get rejections. All right, yes. Okay, so look at your rejections and see if you have any kind of comment on those rejections, whether it's good or bad. I want you to really look at them. I would really recommend that you take your rejections and you put them in a safe place that you can look later, because a lot of times feedback is very meaningful, and maybe at the time when you first get it, you might not like it. But later on, you can look back at it and realize what it's there for. A lot of it will encourage you. Editors and agents don't have time to give you any kind of critique. So when they do, it's like a golden nugget, and it should be celebrated. And it also should show you that you are on the right path. And I know it hurts, but it is something that we all struggle with and we all have to work through. I still get rejected, and it's still not fun. If you're only getting form rejections, then you might want to reassess, what are you doing with your picture book? Are you making any of those newbie mistakes? And if you don't know about the newbie mistakes, then I'm going to put them up here, right here for you. And also I'm going to link my latest video about how to make your picture book stand out. And if you use those, then that should help you out. But you've got to understand there are a lot of people out there wanting the same thing you do. So that's why you should not give up, because you've got to keep writing. And if you just get forms on one thing, you might want to put it aside. And I'm saying, you get a lot of forms, not just a couple of forms, just a lot of forms. Then you might want to put it away and then work on something new. And you can tell over time if you're really passionate about something, and if something's really unique and it's really clicking, and then you send it out and you start getting comments, then you know that you are on the right path. And that's all the homework I have for today. We're going to take a little break about studying picture books, but I want to encourage you to definitely go to the library this week. You might want to just just shop around and pick out some picture books that are near and dear to your heart and reread them with a picture book author's eye. All right, well, I want to thank you so much for listening to me, and just please subscribe and support this channel. And I want to make sure that if you are really working on your manuscripts and these videos have really helped you, definitely shoot me the first 2 pages of the original and then the next 2 pages of your revision, and you just might end up on Dine and Wine, and I might be able to give you a little critique. All right, well, thank you so much, and we will see you on Friday. Bye.